What I think of the generation of the novels. Novels went downhill for all this. Well, you know the answer that when main characters left the novel, when they went off towards college, even better, going off to another school, and live life happily ever after, for that matter. So authors might end up writing new characters in, and a new part or chapter for new characters in their lives had just begun, and begun for the better as well of merrier, to say the least. Knowing that new generation books are very disappointment of devastating than this reboot shows, which been on the air for quite longer than ever, of season after seasons, until the final season of series that came to an end. Same thing as the novel or the books come to a ending, which is sucks to say the least. When main characters went off to different ways after after the series of the book had ended, by living off of different lives for a fresh start, new chapters of life. And now those authors have planted a twisted idea to bring out new characters, to start up with a new fresh start and a new life, to bring in new drama, new betrayal of backstabbing, deceit, lust, of all new sins. Well, you name it. Guess I know too much of it, but apparently too much of disappointment, which made those readers as well as those people who are watching TV disappointment or boredom for that, knowing that they had nothing to do with their lives and nothing to do with it at all. They felt out disappointment for that, and disappointment altogether of misery, trouble comes around knocking for that. Knowing that I've read the Colorados a while back then, when my grandmother was still alive, I felt more tense as I would say for this, knowing that I read it a couple of times for this, knowing that the first novel was great, and the other three felt more shameful of disappointment. Even the painful truth of honesty, making this the worst of the series ever. Like a letdown of disappointment, and a letdown of devastation and regret. And everybody thinks to themselves, how on earth the author wrote something disturbing or nasty by default. Is a fault of fitting towards a author's view of mind. When main characters went off away of rebuilding their new lives, away from this place and away from the book, so they brought new characters to take over for them, which is a letdown for this, and a letdown altogether. Minus the protagonist and the antagonist as well, is a Barfest beneath it, and Barfest all around it. More like a shameful, and not to mention a disturbing of a letdown of devastation over and over again. I read the Carlyle's, the first book. It's okay with this. Within the theme of in between it, when new characters came to our state from another state, even new characters who still living in New York City, of Manhattan, of new characters who still living in New York City, is a following of the new guard, while the old guard left differently a separation, trying to let this all go and let this forgotten. Well, why is that? Well, I'll go get to it later on. For now. Well, this Carlisle book is okay for this while reading it, but either way, is a bit of mix between for that. But either way, the Carlisle book is good to say the least for that. For the second book, disappointment to say the minimum of the least for that, Troubles, which is a letdowner for that. And on Thunderstorm, ASAP, while I was talking, knowing the writers are very discouraged of the next book, which is a semi of disappointment over and over again, which everything might be back to the way it was and back to a faulty start for that. But why? Well, I might be seeing for this. From my last video from a few years ago that I was reviewing about the Carlyles, I was in mix between of good and bad, but I cannot even handle this of the storyline. In other way, in Thunderstorm, while I was talking, thank you. Anywho, for now, I'm a bit of outrage for this, but knowing that the main characters of the regular Gossip Girl was a letdown, and the main characters of Gossip Girl went off of different part of ways, and bringing in the new characters, which is a downgrade of boredom going around for this, and going around and retrain for that. Look, more like a boredom, but a trouble board of grief, of yawn, of this nightmare mess and nightmare for that. Not be taking a chance for this. Not taking a chance for that, and a chance for that. But for a good reason for this. Let me get back to you. Let me return back to the saying, knowing that the main characters of the book, of this Gossip Girl book, and went off to college and went off to different paths of direction, which is a huge disappointment by bringing in new characters to make an excitement, which excitement turns out to be a recluse of disappointment in this book, in those series of books, which I cannot ever stand for that, and stand for that for all the good costs, bad costs for this. But either way, it is a bad moment and a bad situation that I could not stand up for this and stand up for that. I think a reboot of this TV show might be a bad situation and bad idea for this. Knowing that reboot shows might be a bad idea for this, and might end up getting boring for that. Some reboot shows might be good, and some good shows will be good, and bad shows will be the worst of boredom. Knowing that reboot TV shows was a bad idea from the start and the making, which is all the people who are watching TV or reading books might end up a bad idea and bad situation for this when do so for that. Stepping on to this book, knowing those authors or novelists might be giving up on the series of books, might end up ran out ideas and ran out everything. Knowing this new generation of books will be a setting worst idea ever for that, of the ideal part. Here ready for this might be a disappointment of blow towards the making of it, and blower of the worst of the merry. Even those authors are done writing those books and writing the novels as well, that these authors couldn't deal with this at all. More like a letdown or boredom. Knowing the series of books end up taking nowhere to begin with. But this last novel, The Carlyles, was a huge disappointment for this, which then lay out the details for this and lay out the details at all, which is a huge shock and a huge disappointment for that. Thank God that I didn't read all the Carlyle series of novels, because it's a huge, much of disappointment for this. Like a disappointment in hell for that, which that all the readers cannot even doubt to stand up anymore, which is a disturbing not a mixed reaction, but a disappointment of side of boredom for that. I found more disappointment of those generation books, which is a letdown, but a let boredom beneath it. I have nothing to say to that, but not to say the least of anything to not dribble or pass. All the readers want the main characters back, but unfortunately, that might not gonna happen for this. It's never gonna happen for that at all. Trust me, it won't. It might be the last for this, but it might be the first of it. Either way, it might be a sight these readers, or it, or forget it. Knowing generation books might be not suitable to type to reading on for this, but a huge doubts of it. In the upcoming video, I'm going to tell you about the spin-offs of novels. How did a character from the main series end up having its own spin-off series in the book for? I can tell you that and tell you everything. Why the unknown character is now end up becoming a main character of this book series for that, which I'm going in detail to tell you the rest of it. And of course, the downfall of this consequences about spin-off novels of the series that I'm going to link up for this. What have failed and what happened to it. So stay tuned for this upcoming video soon. Well, I should aware that the turquoise mirror is no longer present in my bedroom anymore, because thanks to my brother who broke the mirror a while back, which is a few months ago, I cannot even view my identity anymore, thanks to my brother who broke the mirror. And now he'll end up having bad luck for life. But I counted 7 years for this. Knowing that the turquoise mirror used to stay there for the time being, but I have 2 dogs, which my brother and my sister might be taking care of it. Now that my sister is away in another state, that she has a family of her own, we have to be careful that we have 2 dogs, and the mirror might be killing them by laying on them. So the mirror might be supposed to be hidden in the closet for that for the time being. And thanks to my brother who took the mirror out of the closet towards his bedroom, doing this perfectionist crap thing. I'm still angry at him for what he done and what he did, which I'm not going to forgive and forget for that mess, which I couldn't. So, mirrorless for the time being, and no lights as well. I'm gonna post up my video blog for this month in the upcoming video soon, so watch out for it.